Morning, welcome back to another round of Temple Arts bonsai. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. We had a light frost last night, so I've already been in and brought the quince out because the frost is long gone at the moment. So that's just come out for the day, and hopefully the sun will get on that in a minute. And going to have a look at this collected hawthorn today. Come on. The bark on that hawthorn is really rather splendid. I'm going to be, now I've got the planting angle, I think, happy after about 2 or 3 years and looking at it and deciding where to go with it. I can now start sort of developing the branches out on this, because before they was being developed in a different direction, so I think a few of those branches are going to be changing orientation and getting wired in a completely different way. So that wire there's been in there too long anyway, and I think that branch is coming off because it does not serve purpose well where I'm going with the tree. So yeah, I'm going to sort out all this moss on this tree for the first job today. I'm going to get all that moss sorted out and picked off with my tweezers and my brushes, and then I think I'm going to do the lime sulphur on the Siberian elm that you saw in the last video. I've managed to get down and reduce most of my twiggy stuff, my ramification, getting that back down to 2 or 3 buds just to keep the form there. And so I think the lime sulphur is coming out today because the weather has got really good enough to do it and sit outside to do it. So that's that, and then I'm going to have a look at that larch there in a minute. Yeah, well, speaking of craggy bark, there's this Nenabari, the base on this larch, the larix, that I pulled out the mountains about 10 years ago, and it's really starting to crack up on around the base. Now the bark on this, really good. So I went back to the same spot about 5 years later and found this one, which is a bit younger, as you can see by the bark at the bottom, and I've still got to do a bit of root work down there, but essentially what I'm doing with these 2 trees is I'm going to create a scene, not a forest planting, but just like a scene, something very reminiscent of what I would see when I'm walking up in the mountains here. So I'll try and pan out a bit, but the tree on the right has got about 5 years on the tree on the left, so I can't wait till I really can't wait till this tree on the left starts to develop some nice craggy bark down the bottom like the one on the right, and there's not, a few more years to go and that will start to get some nice bark on it, but at the moment it's a bit pedestrian, the bark on there, compared to the one next to it. So in time we'll get there with that one. So I've got a couple of other smaller larches, and what I want to do is I want to put one of those down here, and maybe another one over the back there. So there'll be a few different sized larches on there, but there'll be these two very prominent trees on the slate there, and I'm hoping they look alright. I can't wait for them to burst back out this year, and they really are almost there. So it's a bit of my bad wiring there. Look, that is bad wiring. I've just noticed that myself, so I shall correct that in a minute. That gap there under the wire, that's not good wiring, that's bad wiring. I don't mind a bit of loose wiring if it allows for movement and stops things digging in, but I'm always trying to improve my wiring. So there you are. This is it, isn't it? It's warts and all on YouTube. It's we're not all Mr. Kimura yet, so but we're trying. Anyway, that's the main thing, isn't it? You have a go. And don't be put off from having a go. It's all about you and your trees, really. and the relationship that you get with your trees, and being outside in nature and holding nature in like a high regard, you know, that's really why I like bonsai. It's that worship of nature, because well, just because, eh? Anyway, so there's a couple of things you ain't seen before. What I really want to do with this is as well as moss around the base of the trees, what we get a lot here is we get ever such a lot of lichen. And what I'm starting to do now is I'm starting to try and import some of this lichen onto this planting. For me, it's really inherent to where I collect trees. When I go collecting, I just see a lot of lichen and mosses. And I'm not a lichenologist, but I don't really know any names of this lichen. And I'm sure if there's any lichenologists out there, you might be able to tell me. But I'm a bit better with mycology, but not lichenology. So, but what I'm trying to do now is when I see like little bits of snapped off twig, like here, I see this is just a bit of broken off branch, but it's covered in lichen. So what I do is I'll come along now, and I'm going to break off bits of this branch, tiny little bits about, I don't know, an inch long, especially bits where the lichen is all attached and it feeds off the rotting wood, I suppose. And I'll be slowly getting some of those all in round the base of this tree. I mean, you can see here where this tree is due for a bit of a scrape out now and sort out. There's all those roots there in that root mass. They need a bit of a trim up really, and a tidy up. And then what I shall do is when I'm reapplying some soil to that, I'll try and get some of these bits of this branch with the lichen in it. And what I want to do is try and develop, so let me get the camera at a better angle. I'll try anyway, so you sort of see what I'm saying, so that we get this lichen around the edge of it, and it just kind of looks a bit natural. So that's what I'm trying to achieve anyway, and hopefully over the next few years we'll get some of that lichen to settle on there and eat away at some of these rotting dead wood. And with this, you know, this pair of larch, I think really what I just want to do is just create a scene of two sort of main trees, but there'll be some smaller trees either side of it, but those two will be the focal point. So starting to get some branch structure there now. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up this there we are, this tiny little maple. No, yeah, trident maple, sorry. God, brain's not working yet, I'm not long been up. This is a real stumpy little trident maple, root over rock, and I'm just going to take that round the back now and put that down on the bench. And in the process, nice blue sky today anyway, have a look at some other bits and pieces. There's the old oak, he's a biggie, and dash are starting to come out, which is all the snowdrops are starting to come out. So anyway, let's have a look at some stuff we ain't seen yet. This little thuja that I've been working on for about 10 years has actually got to a point where I'm happy to show it. and present it, but it's getting ever so dark out here, so I'm just going to quickly have a quick whip round. So here we are. This juniper chinensis we're going to be working on in the next video or two. Haven't quite got to it yet, but it's been really busy this year. The thuja here, this has been potted down now, and I've got to do the lime sulphur on that sherry that runs all the way up there, but I'm really happy with the pot selection I've got on this year. It really sort of complements the foliage and all the other tones going on there. So hey, there we are. So first one of the year is the Siberian Elm, and we've managed to do the lime sulphur on it because it's a lovely sunny day, and oh boy, I like to do the lime sulphur outside because it's got that very eggy stink damp sort of lime sulphury smell. So yeah, there we are. Really pleased with that. That's we've got all that rotten pulpy stuff out of that trunk. There's all just nice hardwood left there now, and got a good couple of applications of the lime sulphur on. So that runs all the way up there, down, across there, and yeah, that's only been on about an hour and it's already turning very white. So that's going to look quite good actually, I think, and I'm really pleased with how that's coming out. So it's going to work on a few other bits. God, there was a lot of moss on that trunk. It really did take quite a bit of picking off, but yeah, it's all starting to go now. There's a few little specks in there. I shall sit there a bit later and go over it with a bamboo skewer or something and get into all those nooks and crannies, but it's very difficult to use a stiff brush on this trunk without removing all that lovely cracked bark. So in fact what I ended up using really was a bamboo skewer. Really, it's got a lovely sort of blunt wooden tip on it, and it just seems to do the job really. So really I've just been working across the tree, getting in, but as you can see there's a few bits like here where it's just so difficult to get it off without the bark losing a bit of that lovely cracked bark. So but anyway, don't take any notice of those branches because it's recently changed complete direction of where I'm going with this tree. Like I say, it was a semi-cascade when I got it, but I'm going to make it into a nice upright with a nice decent amount of foliage up there to play with, and a couple of those branches are going. So yeah, watch that space with that tree. We'll just follow that one through the summer and see how it goes.